Okay, now we have French and Raven's 5 forms of power, or 5 sources of power. How do people get others to do things, and especially in the workplace? Our first one is legitimate power. That's the power that comes from having a job title and that position power that the person has. If they are called the manager, you know they have power. They have position power, and they can tell you what to do. So there we have that. Number 2 is reward power. This comes from one's ability to compensate for compliance, meaning that the person who's probably already got the legitimate power has the ability to hand out cookies when you do the right thing. Number 3, we have coercive power. It comes from one's ability to punish others for non-compliance. These are the threats and punishments that also might come from legitimate power in the workplace. So, as you can see, we have the position power, and then the person with the position or the job title who has control over the employees might also have the ability to give raises, bonuses, extra hours, and even recognition. And then we have the coercive power, where they have the ability to suspend employees, to public shaming, to fire, and things like that. That gives them power. Number 4, we have expert power, which is a little bit more positive, and it comes from one's superior skill or knowledge. If you've known somebody who has special skills in the workplace, they have power because they're the only ones or the best person that can get the job done. You also might know that person that has knowledge and is a little bit ahead of everybody else. They would have expert power. But when it comes to the boss, and I'm trying to focus on management here, does the boss have expert power? Do they know more than the employees? Do they have skills and years of productive work experience? That would give them power. And they would become influential to the employees. The 5th, we have referent power. It comes from the perceived attractiveness, charisma, or appeal of people. They make people feel good. These people are the popular leaders. So when you have the popular leader who everybody likes and everybody wants to please, they become very influential, and it's easy for them to get things done. And when they have this influence over the employees, the result isn't so much compliance or non-compliance, it's more like commitment. So I want you to think about your workplaces and managers you've had in the past. Sure, they probably had some legitimate power due to the position. Maybe they could give raises or punish or 3 days off, fire people. Maybe they can, maybe they can't. Were they good at, did they know the operation? And did people respect them because they were great people and they were attractive and charismatic? Now, many of you have jobs or have had jobs in the public sector where the managers might be appointed or transferred to other areas, and with resources low, with unionization, and appointee employees, you have, this should be very interesting to you, because the legitimate power, let's say the manager was appointed and the employee was appointed, right? Well, the manager can kind of tell the appointed employee what to do, but there's not a whole lot of beef right there because we all have connections. They also might be under a budget, so there's no chance of rewards, unless it's just stated percentage increases over the years. If the employee is appointed, they wouldn't have very much opportunity to threat or punish the employee, because the employee might have even more power than the manager has. And with all of the moving around, and you just go do this position, we have an opening here, you take that. I've heard of accounting students who might be in the environmental, or an environmentalist student that might be an accountant somewhere. The expert power opportunities might not be there either. That's when you ask yourself, does the boss know anything about this operation? And sometimes that's the case. So really, when you have a case like that, legitimate power, very low. Reward power, very low. Coercive power, with the union hanging over their head, 0. Expert power, none. Now, is the manager happy? Is the manager trying to influence the employees? Is the manager trying to build a team that's supportive of the mission and trying to give good public service? Well, a lot of times they're so insecure because they know none of this is working out for them, they forget that they have the opportunity to be proud of themselves and their team through the use of referent power. But then they don't see that. They see all of this insecurity. I'm in a position, I don't know what I'm doing, I can't reward, I can't do, and and they have more, they know this person, they know that person. Wow. The only option for a happy life, if you ask me, for any level of success is right here. Being perceived as attractive. And that's about the only option from this model that the manager has to get people on board to have a joyous workplace experience while serving the public, serving up good customer satisfaction. And I want you to notice too that the person who relies, now we're talking about relies on legitimate power would be seen as a bully. We've often talked about the dangers of rewards, and this is not fun at all. That's not fun. If the manager just relies on abusing people, and it can turn into abuse very easily. You have to be careful with that. That's not much fun. This expert power and married with referent power, that's the way to go. And that gets commitment, not just non-compliance or compliance. So if you think through these 5 sources of power, think about it. Just getting the position and riding on that position power, that legitimate power, might not be the best thing to do. We do talk about the power distance. The power distance, and trying to get that lowered so the managers and the employees aren't like that. It's more like the manager and the employee. So that's builds a better team, maybe. So think about this, and think about the power of referent power, the power of people just wanting to do what you ask them to, building that vision, getting people on that team, and think about all the problems we can get rid of all of this bully stuff and cookies, carrots, and sticks, and get down to here where everybody enjoys being influenced by a great person.